Go, NTDO 212, com check.
DPS, go. Inco, go. PUS, go. Surgeon, go. Booster, go. Copy that. We have a go from you guys.
This is Talking Sound.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talking Sound podcast. I am Chris Jordan, your host. We are officially in season 5 now, and, you know, over the years, we have talked to many people from artists to movie directors to actors and audio engineers, video engineers. One of my favorite people in the world to talk to, not just on this show, but on the Dudes and Beer podcast, is my good friend and content creator and content platform creator, Richard Adams of Breach.tv and Breach.fm. How have you been doing, my friend?
I have been doing great. How about yourself?
Doing awesome, man. It's been so long since we've gotten to like share the same space. We tag each other on Facebook all the time, and message back and forth. But
it has been kind of a crazy couple of months for the both of us. For
yeah,
sure.
it's been like great, but at the same time very wearing. And you know, like to not be able to have the nerd time that I want to do things like other than my podcast content creation, have days with you doing coding and things like that. And one of the reasons I wanted to have you on is because South by Southwest is coming up, and you have one of my favorite distribution platforms out there, Breach.tv and Breach.fm. They're tied together, and it's a great concept. It's probably the easiest and fastest way that I have found for monetization of content. You guys have gone through and made some extreme strides to make sure that artists can be creative and do what they want to do. And I want to give you a little bit of time to come on and tell all the musicians out there, tell all the video content creators that listen to the show, what you're all about.
Okay. Thanks. I appreciate that. Our philosophy has been, you know, from the word get-go, is that there's no set of real subscriber views or subscriber counts or play counts or how many hours you've been watched. Our ad networks have been very good working with us to get us quality advertising content. I know that Dell has been huge on the platform very recently. From day one, as long as you guys are signed up and agree to the revenue sharing agreements, you're going to get paid for your content. That's just the way we design the business model, and it seems to be working.
Yeah, and it's very freeing. As a creator, I was actually just talking to somebody who joined my podcast network the other day. Make sure and check out the Richard Space Off show, coming to you soon. Some great paranormal stories from celebrities, all kinds of folks. I know one of the first people he is interviewing is Marsha Brady.
That'll be good.
So it's going to be great.
Yeah, so you guys should get in contact with the Kevin MPE user.
Yeah.
on the platform, because that's what his podcast is.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Nothing but paranormal experiences.
Yeah, and it's and the reason I'm bringing that up is that we were talking about platforms like YouTube, things like that, where
which is about to go through another apocalypse, by the way.
Yeah, and
they actually already have.
You know, not just that, but it's the fact of at one point people made crazy money on YouTube, and then a lot of things got locked down to where it was like people that were making decent money suddenly didn't have enough views to maintain making money. They were a monetized partner.
Yeah, they were no longer advertiser friendly by the standards that the very liberal YouTube organization put together. You know, I've heard complaints from content creators that they drop a single F-bomb in an hour-long video and the whole thing gets demonetized.
Oh, I personally had issues, and one of the reasons why I don't play a lot of people's music on the show, go ahead, is whenever I would be sitting in the studio on video in the first season or so with a musician playing their music, talking about how they created the track that we played, and either that part or the whole video would be muted for the use of copywritten content. And it's like, wait a minute, do you not see the description there? Like, what part of your algorithm didn't catch the description that I am interviewing the creator of this song?
That's just it, is the algorithm doesn't see that. It doesn't. I mean, even with the fact that person may even be in the actual video.
I mean, I went as far as to send them the releases.
Yeah.
You know, because whenever I used people's stuff, I always had them sign a release.
Right, absolutely. Stuff
like that. And it's just it's mind-numbing to me how many people have it's become a race now, and much more a race to the viral video than to the quality content that used to be.
Things are going to get really bad, and if anybody is listening to this show tonight, or whenever you may hear this, and you live in a European Union country, please write your MEP. Tell them to vote against Article 13, because that is going to destroy these platforms.
What is Article 13?
So Article 13 is a very misguided proposition that the European Union has put together to enforce content platforms like myself, like YouTube, like Vimeo, to implement these very restrictive upload filters that go through and look for copyrighted content before it ever even gets to the processing stage. So this is going to happen as it's being uploaded, and it's going to be very cost prohibitive for us to do that.
Wow. And, along those same lines, there is also legislation coming up right now. I just posted it in the Talking Sound group the other day about radio rights. Yes. And everything else. For a long time, it has been the case that it's kind of a gentleman's handshake between the record companies and radio stations. Like, hey, you're giving promotion, like we will give you access to the songs because you're putting it out there, and that's how people hear it, and then they come by the album.
Right.
There has been, of course, pushback on that for years, and there's a new pushback on it going up right now, saying that is not fair to artists, all kinds of stuff.
Well, it's a system that leaves itself open to manipulation by big artists.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
You talk to anybody who's ever done any sort of production music, if they're an ASCAP, they'll tell you that if you want to get a song charted, all you got to do is pay the radio stations X amount of money, and you'll get there.
Yeah.
It could be the worst song ever, and we've seen multiple situations of that, where a song is just horrendous, and it's at the top of the charts. It's because they paid for it.
Sure.
It's an investment vehicle for the artist.
It does make it very hard for local artists to be able to get out there. Like I said, for people to be able to create what they want to create. Yes. I mean, even at the end of last season, we were talking to Eric Betancourt, a local singer-songwriter who came to Austin via Maine, and that's where I met him. Working up there with him, running sound, things like that, for his bands. And he was like, it's strange because, like, he was like, I'm finishing this album that I've worked on for 3 years now, and I almost don't even want to write albums anymore.
It's not worth it. He
was like, I really feel like whenever I write a song, I should just write like one or two and release them and just put them out there. It seems like that's the much easier way to catch an audience, and the way that people are consuming media.
Yeah, that's with the iTunes generation and all of the digital media, that's kind of where that's going. Is people don't want to spend $15 for an album of 15 to 12 or 14 songs anymore.
Yeah,
they want to spend $3 for 4 songs that they really like off of an album, or the 4 songs that have gotten the chart plays or whatever. That's where this is going. So he's absolutely correct in that matter. That it is actually more feasible to just release a song or two here and there.
Well, and with of course all this just like really heady shop being talked here, let's kind of come back and circle back around to Breach.tv and Breach FM. Explain to people, we talked a little bit about the monetization, but explain to people what the platform is, what you're all about, and how you came to start Breach.tv and Breach FM.
So about 2.5 years ago, the former CEO of Breach approached me and said, hey, this was back during the first YouTube major apocalypse situation. She's like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And I'm like, yeah, there is. So I jumped on board as the technical advisor, whatever you want to call it. And we started digging in and started building what is now known as Breach TV, the video side of it. And many years ago before this, I had built a music hosting platform that we never actually launched. So I was like, let me just dig this old code up and see if we can actually refactor it to make it usable today. And that's where we're at now, 2.5 years later, finally at a point where we can say, yeah, it's ready to go. So, as you know, during South by, we're going to be doing a big launch event. The folks with CSAC are involved.
Yep.
So we're getting really excited about launching that. Some other things have come along the way. The ability for creators to design and sell their own merchandise.
I love that idea, especially on the FM side where you're talking about much more musical artists, things like that. And the fact that people like myself, podcast creators, bands that have music videos, whenever you upload your music video, that track is automatically uploaded to your FM profile at the same time. So it's 2 for 1.
Exactly.
You're getting 2 platforms at the same time. Plus, you can create merchandise on there that's branded for your stuff in one-off printing.
And you'd be surprised at how many of the video creators are doing merch now.
Oh, sure.
That's been their primary source of income since YouTube did what they did 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
They've gone to, merchandise, outside endorsements, these types of things.
Well, and it's the same with any good blog, the same with any radio show, TV show, that kind of stuff. It's merchandising where you really make your coin. And if you can come up with a good hat, if you can have a good quality T-shirt at a good price with your logo on it, then people will buy it. They will support you. They will buy the T-shirt of their favorite band or or of their favorite podcast
or their favorite YouTube creator
absolutely. I go to a lot of media events. I go to a lot of coder events. I attend a lot of stuff like NVIDIA GPU conference, stuff like that. And
one of these days.
And dude, like, I'm here to tell you, those are the shirts that people wear.
Yeah.
That's what they're wearing. Like, these dudes are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to code, and they're walking around in like a WTF podcast
they're
T-shirt.
Walking around in a PewDiePie
shirt. Stuff like that. So to be able to create that content, to be able to put that out there, and that's the real issue, is that most of the time, if you're going to have T-shirts printed, you have to have a certain number of them done. So if you don't
or you have to spend the money to build the shopping cart and the software and do a Shopify account and all these other things, and we're going to take care of that, all of that for the creator. So it eliminates a whole bunch of middleman steps, so we can kind of just give it a direct video creator to consumer line of path instead of having to go through all these other hoops.
Yeah, exactly. And it's such a great idea and so creator centric, as opposed to a lot of the larger, more established platforms out there that are honestly the competition, horrifyingly enough. Because the main reason why Breach is one of my favorite platforms is because of this forward thinking. It's because of the fact that you're considering the creators first. You're considering the content creators.
That's kind of where all of our enhancements and upgrades have come from. Is we've taken the feedback that our creators have given us and said, "Hey, we'd like to be able to schedule a release on this day." Okay, here's the field to do it.
Yeah.
Now you can schedule your release. You don't even have to be at your computer. You upload it, you schedule it for 2 weeks from now. You go on vacation. 2 weeks from now, boom, your video hits the front page.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's great. It's fantastic. It even gives you the embed code ahead of time, so you can have it in your posts, all that kind of stuff. That way they both go live at the same time, all that kind of stuff. It's really, really great. And what has the creation of Breach TV, Breach FM done for you personally? Like, I know my business and my projects, they're as valuable to me and as personal to me as the baby asleep in the room directly behind you.
And I feel the same way. You know, there's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears put into these things. A lot of very long nights, a lot of very long sleepless nights. Coming from somebody who had a very limited Linux background when we first started this, I'm now very comfortable digging into a Linux machine and tearing it apart if I need to. Yeah. So, you know, and learning about all the technologies behind what a video hosting platform does with the compression of videos, the recoding of videos to make them available on the internet, redoing even MP3 files so that they are as clean as possible when we broadcast them out. Yeah. One of the things that we're going to do with FM is we're going to be able to actually take the raw WAV file from an artist and do the conversion on the fly to the best possible specs. Oh, wow. For Breach. And those will actually get a Breach certification saying, hey, this is the top quality audio that you're going to get. Yeah. Because you know me, I'm an audiophile. Yeah. I want stuff to sound good. Yeah, yeah. So, I've been looking at some of the things that the back-end software that we wrote can do. And we're like, well, we could take a WAV file, convert it to 320, 256 MP3, and that's going to sound awesome. Yeah, yeah, that's going to sound great. Yeah. And not only that, but as a content creator, as a musician, one of the things that, like I mentioned earlier, even doing this show and hosting it on YouTube, I had episodes that, like, I was getting warnings for because we were playing the artist's music with them in the studio. And you guys taking that into consideration, taking DJs and remixing and mashing up into consideration, and cover bands, people who make their living doing this stuff. Y'all have actively gone through and made arrangements. Yes. With royalty companies and stuff. Explain a little bit about that process and what that does to open up the creative field again. What that does, basically, we have signed licensing agreements with all the three major performance rights organizations. That's Humble Fish, which is what used to be Harry Fox, ASCAP, and BMI. Well, welcome to Austin, BMI, by the way. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. They just opened an office here, finally. Yes. Imagine that. We finally hit the industry radar here in Austin. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do for South by next year. I don't think that they have anything planned this year. But I think the announcement. I know with CSAC being here and having a fairly large presence at South by, BMI is going to throw. I don't know that they are officially here yet, but I know that the announcement has been made that they are moving here and opening an office. Yeah. So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to whatever they may do, because they're probably going to throw one hell of a party. Yeah. For South by. Yeah. Now that they're going to be here, so. But anyway, so we've signed all of these licensing agreements with these companies so that we're basically taking the same role as your local club down the street. The local club down the street can hire a cover band to come in and play songs. They just have to pay a little bit of a licensing fee. Yep. And in most cases, it's around 10 to 14%. So what we've done is we've signed these licensing agreements, and basically how that works is if you upload a cover song, we have a library, a database of songs that we can query against. Yep. And if it takes a hit, we'll go through and review it. If it's a cover, then we'll flag it as such. And then basically we'll take care of all of the licensing and revenue back to the PRO for you and just take it out of what you would earn.
Yeah.
That's for ad revenue and sales, both.
Yeah. And it's just such a forward-thinking, forward-looking concept to be able to make sure that creators, musicians, people that do what they do professionally out live can be doing it online the way that they used to.
Yes.
And still be making money off of it, not having to wait until download 10,000 or follower 10,000 in order for that to happen.
Right.
You can have 0 followers, and the minute that you have enough views, which is very few. I know that like one view, I think, is 0.003 of a cent.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's like 0.003.
It varies between.
But the difference is, think about that. Just think about that math, all right, folks? With that one view, you already made 1% of a penny. That would not even happen with one view on YouTube.
Nor would it happen with one radio play.
No. So that's why this is like Fastly, since we first met and made rapid friendship, has become one of my favorite platforms, because it's so great to know that you can get paid. I know I made money from the platform last year. I made a decent little clip. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
We had some really good months for the network in there. I know that we garnered well over 100,000 plays for some shows, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So it was.
I actually had to send out one. I had to actually have one creator this year. I had to send 1099 out to this year.
Yeah.
Because they had earned more than $600, so I had to I had to send it to the report for their taxes.
Yeah.
So,
and
the platform is definitely starting to grow.
Yeah, it's grown quite a bit since our first meeting, and I have been very happy not only with the progress but with the rapidity with which you have grown, and not only continue to grow, but with which you address people's issues and concerns and needs as content creators.
Well, that's where I wanted to be. I wanted to be somebody that could address concerns as we can. Yeah. I didn't want to be YouTube that says, hey, this is how we're going to do things, take it or leave it. Yeah. That's their business model. They're certainly more than welcome to do it, and it works well for them.
Sure. Yeah. I think it's working out all right.
Until they have, this new situation that's going on with them, and that's very widely publicized, and it's a very bad situation. And I don't know that the response that they've taken has been appropriate, but again, that's their business decision to do that. Yeah,
and it's been wild, folks. The deplatforming of people, the deplatforming of certain types of content. It's been really interesting. The fallout.
They've even gone so far now as to turn off comments with legitimate videos that have children involved in it, because that's where all of this started. Yeah, was somebody would come in and post a link. Yeah. In the comments.
Oh, if you like this, come check this out.
Exactly, and that's how the rabbit holes got started. Yep. And that's such a terrible way for a UI to get manipulated like that, but that's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was like the easiest way to get views and stuff like that for a long time, was to put those links in. Yeah. And it's been interesting to see how that has been abused and changed. Yeah.
But the thing is like, if you wanted to take a video of your son doing what he does in here in this studio and post it on YouTube, nobody would be able to comment on it because they would turn the comments off.
Yeah. And, I can see that to an extent, but at the same time, that makes it tough for a content creator.
Yeah, it makes it, well, like
if you're creating legitimate, good content.
Exactly. Or like if you send it to your family, and your family couldn't even make a comment on it. They would have to pull you aside or do something different. Yep. Rather than commenting directly on the video.
Yeah, and, with that in mind, thinking about that kind of stuff, like the security measures that you guys have taken have been fantastic to make sure that people are not gaming plays all that kind of stuff.
Still dealing with the fallout from that.
I know. I thought about it the other day. I was going to send you an image, but I didn't. I restrained myself. I was like, "That's not cool."
As long as it's not my face on the tip of a penis, we're good.
That's not cool. So yeah, there were. I mean, of course, any platform goes through it where there are issues with people gaming the system, using bots, things like that, and that's how you find out about these issues, and that's how you fix them.
That's how you know you've made it on the map when somebody does that.
Yeah, exactly.
That was validation to me that hey.
Yep,
I really am doing something.
That's better than the 1-star rating for a podcast. That's like the podcast badge of honor. That's like your gold star. You get 1 star. I took the time to give you 1 star.
Yes.
Like,
well, in the situation that I'm thinking about, this individual took the time to record not 1, not 2, but 3 different videos about my company. So absolutely,
and that's just it. Like, those are some of the things that you come up against in this day and age, as not just a content creator, but as a platform creator.
Of course. I mean, everyone deals with it, and it's not. I mean, it's not just creators and platforms. I mean, any business in general is subject to this guerrilla warfare type hits on your company. And you just have to address it and move on. I feel like we did a fairly decent job of addressing the situation. We were very transparent. Said, hey, here's what happened.
Yep.
This individual is upset about it because they got caught.
Yeah. Sorry
for your bad luck, buddy.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry for your wanton misgivings there.
Yeah.
But just thinking about the concept of platform creation, like that to me is right up there with like creation of new artistic media. You know, like somebody coming up with a new concept in painting. You know, something like that, where sure it's code, and you're probably standing on somebody's shoulders, but at the same time, what you're doing is something totally different than everybody else.
That's the thing is there are other concepts out there that do things similar than what we do. They are doing it and they're successful just as we are. So, I don't really view them as competitors.
Yeah,
I view them as something to kind of view myself against.
Yep.
Not really necessarily as competitor, but something I can do better.
Yeah. Well, and, I view it very much as a community.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the fact of if the internet has taught us anything, folks, it's that there's plenty of content to go around.
Yes.
There's plenty of it out there. If you don't like it, don't watch it, don't listen to it. Just move along.
Move along, yeah, exactly.
You know, but for me, like I was saying earlier, my concepts, like my podcasts, my network, they're like my son. Yeah. They are something that I created that's a part of me.
Yes, absolutely.
And you know, it's hard not to. It's hard. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's hard to keep your feet on the ground while your head's in the air.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially with the FM concept, because I wrote that from the ground up, everything.
Yeah.
You know, where with TV, we did take a boxed piece of software and heavily customize it for ourselves.
Chop and hack and remove and add code.
FM is me exclusively from the ground up. So yeah, I get that because that's my code, and when something doesn't work, it's on me.
And I'm so excited about FM. What is the word on the launch for the platform?
So we are finishing up our beta testing this month.
Nice.
Yeah, things are going very well. I've got a couple of things I want to do. I want to update the player, as I showed you.
Yeah.
That's going to go both TV and FM both. The idea is to launch it during South by. So anybody who's here in Austin, you'll see posters, flyers, handbills.
Yep.
Probably all over the city in the next month. So I apologize in advance for papering your city, but that's what we're going to do. And then, any issues that come up, we'll get them fixed, and hopefully we can launch FM and merch at the same time. That would be awesome. But
yeah, that would be a solid South by piece of excitement.
yes, it would.
Yeah,
That might actually get us some spots on the news and everything else, and that's kind of what I'm looking for.
well, yeah, and as a young content creator, as somebody out there creating new platforms of entertainment, what do you see on the horizon in the next couple years, as far as Breach.TV, Breach FM? What are a couple of your plans?
The next step for us is live streaming. That's
Beautiful.
That's a concept that we have actually tested, you and I.
Yep.
And it worked.
Yep.
We just never got around to fully putting it in place, and it got pushed to the back burner, and then.
Well, I mean, there are other things like FM that
fires came up.
Yeah.
And
well, not just other fires, but of course, as things came around a little while ago, there was much more of a prioritization.
yeah, well, with the reorg that we did last
Yeah,
summer,
exactly.
that was one of the things I wanted to get the 2 core products done, and then we'll start looking at the merchandise, the live streaming,
add-ons to the product.
yes,
Yeah, the undercoating and
there is another piece
sealant.
to the live streaming. We want to do a moderated streaming session. So, like, say you want to host a online karaoke room with 50 people in it.
Oh,
You have an MC who
interesting.
dictates how the show's run. He has control over the microphone, and then he passes it on to the next person in line.
So you could have your microphone at your Skype or whatever, like mine right here.
Browser-based.
Sure. But it would be using your my baller interface here with the tube.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
that. This would be my karaoke rig.
Yes.
That's
And then
pretty epic.
Somebody else could be online in another country, even.
Some of you folks, if you ever take a look at the last season, you can see my studio behind me. That would be pretty epic to have all of my effects at my disposal.
Well, the thing is the one user who's been driving kind of the specifications for this. He is, and it was the individual I texted you about earlier. We just built him a really, really nice recording rig for.
Nice.
He's got all of that basically all set up, and the problem is he's using Palatalk right now.
Yeah.
And their audio quality is just not there.
Yeah.
So he's got all of this really high-tech recording equipment, and then it comes out sounding like it's coming across 56K.
Yeah.
On a dial-up.
Yeah.
It's just not good. So we were trying to get something better than that for people like him and others that want to do these kinds of things.
Yeah.
So that's probably late this year. We haven't even determined a name for it yet, so.
All right. Well, and it's great to know that you guys aren't just resting on your laurels, that you're out there pushing the envelope, coming up with new things, like I said, taking the content creators to heart. And whenever they come to you and say, hey, especially people that are uploading hours worth of stuff every week, a good 4 or 5 hours of content every week. That's a decent clip of content to go up.
Enrico.
Whenever you consider that the average clip on YouTube or other services is 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think the average is probably trending upwards a little bit, just because even YouTube is starting to prioritize clips that are 10 minutes and longer.
Yep.
So you're starting to see kind of a trend towards
good,
slightly longer content
yeah.
videos being posted. Most of your creators are kind of aiming towards 15 minutes these days, but obviously if you're running a podcast, that's never going to work.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's why we have FM.
Yep.
So.
Well, and on that note, tell everybody where they can go online to join Breach TV, Breach FM, where they can go to check out other people's content, where they can go to follow you guys on social media, what your hashtag is, what your follow is, what your Tinder is, whatever.
Tinder. No, we're not getting into all of that one.
No? All right.
So the website is www.breach.tv. That's like the television. That's for the video site. The audio site is www.breach.fm, like your FM radio. You can also follow us at breachmedia.co. We are on Facebook and Twitter, both as breach.tv. So we are fairly easy to find out there. You just got to go look for us a little bit. But we are definitely out there.
Absolutely. And getting out there more and all the time.
Yes.
It's so great to see you again. So great to, like I said, just hang out, spend some time with you. Can't wait to do it off mic. While you're online checking out all the great stuff at breach.tv, including the Talking Sound podcast and all the great podcasts like Dudes and Beer, Yes But Why, Therapy Hour with Rusty Lozano, the soon-to-be Richard Spazoff show, all that great stuff, all on the HC Universal Network. Go check it out. Breach.tv, breach.fm. Come check out TalkingSoundShow.com. That is where you can find the free interactive map for freelancers. If you're a freelance AV technician like myself, feel free to go visit there. You can check out region, then state, then city, and find local companies that hire freelance AV technicians. While you're also on the website, you can check out all the great episodes as well as other great stuff. Richard, thank you so much again for the time. Thank you so much again for sharing all the great updates this year with Breach.tv and Breach.fm.
Thanks, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And remember, everybody, take care of yourselves. Take care of your hearing. Until next time, everybody, keep reaching for 11. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
This is Talking Sound.